In 323 BC, the greatest conqueror the world had ever seen lay dead in Babylon at just 32 years old. Alexander the Great had built the largest empire in history, stretching from Greece all the way to the borders of India. But he left behind no clear successor. His only legitimate son was still in his mother Roxana's womb. His half-brother was mentally disabled. Within hours of his death, his closest generals were already plotting against each other. His pregnant wife and infant son were marked for death. Over the next 50 years, Alexander's empire would drown in blood as his friends turned into the most savage rivals in ancient history. This is the Wars of the Diadochi, the bloodiest Game of Thrones the world has ever seen. Alexander died without naming a clear heir, so his generals gathered in Babylon to divide the empire. They appointed Pyrrhus as regent of the whole thing, but nobody really planned to respect that decision for long.
The major players were Ptolemy, the cunning one who immediately seized Egypt, Seleucus, the ambitious cavalry commander, Antigonus the One-Eyed, a battle-hardened 60-year-old general who would become the most dangerous man alive, Cassander and Lysimachus in Europe, and Eumenes, Alexander's loyal Greek secretary who turned out to be one of the best generals of them all. They carved up the empire like a birthday cake, but everyone intended to come back for seconds. Pyrrhus tried to hold the empire together by force. He invaded Egypt to punish Ptolemy for stealing Alexander's body, but his own officers murdered him in his tent in 321 BC. Pyrrhus gave him a fancy funeral and kept Egypt anyway. Meanwhile, in the east, Eumenes was winning battles against the old Macedonian guard, using clever tactics and even elephants to smash through fire traps. The body count was climbing fast, and this was only round one. Then things got truly ugly. When Antipater, Alexander's old viceroy in Europe, died, his ruthless son Cassander took power. Cassander hated Alexander's family with a passion. He imprisoned and murdered Alexander's mother Olympias in the most brutal way, then later killed the young Alexander IV and Roxana. Pure Game of Thrones cruelty. At the same time, Antigonus the One-Eyed and his charismatic son Demetrius the Besieger went on a rampage across Asia Minor and the Middle East. Antigonus nearly reunited the entire empire under his own rule. For a few years, it looked like Alexander's dream might actually survive, just with a different king wearing the crown. But the other successors refused to let that happen. In 301 BC, they formed the ultimate coalition against Antigonus: Seleucus, Lysimachus, Cassander, and Ptolemy. The two armies met at the Battle of Ipsus in central Anatolia. Over 150,000 men clashed in one of the biggest battles of the ancient world. Seleucus brought hundreds of Indian war elephants, the ancient version of heavy tanks. Antigonus, now 81 years old, fought right in the front lines with his men. When his army started to break, he stood alone and shouted, "Will no one come to save their king?" Moments later, he was cut down by enemy soldiers. His dream died with him on the battlefield. His son Demetrius escaped with the cavalry and went on to have one of the most dramatic careers in history, conquering Athens, building the world's largest siege tower to attack Rhodes, becoming king of Macedonia, and then losing everything in spectacular fashion. When the dust finally settled after decades of war, Alexander's bloodline was completely extinct. But three major kingdoms emerged from the wreckage and would shape the next 3 centuries. Ptolemaic Egypt became rich, stable, and incredibly cultured. This is the Egypt that would later be ruled by Cleopatra. The Seleucid Empire stretched from Turkey all the way to the borders of India, and the Antigonid Kingdom controlled the old Macedonian heartland. Greek culture exploded across the Middle East and Asia. New cities like Alexandria, Antioch, and Pergamon became centers of science, philosophy, libraries, and art. This was the Hellenistic Age, the world that Rome would eventually conquer.
Alexander conquered the known world in just 12 years. His generals then spent the next 50 years tearing that empire apart in one of history's most brutal power struggles. In the end, none of them fully won, but together they accidentally created a new cultural empire that would last far longer than any of their kingdoms. The age of the Diadochi gave the ancient world a shared Greek language, art, and ideas that still influence us today. If you want to see what happens when Rome collides with these successor kingdoms, drop a comment below. Next time we might cover Pyrrhus of Epirus, the man whose victories were so costly we still call them Pyrrhic victories. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this blood-soaked chapter of ancient history, smash the like button, subscribe for more epic stories, and I'll see you in the next one.